So let's take an in-depth look at how a credit card works, or a credit card bill works. This is a simplified example, but it'll give us the idea of how real credit cards work. It says, suppose an unpaid bill for $315 had a due date of April 10th. A purchase of $28 was made on April 12th, and $123 was charged on April 24th. A payment of $50 was made on April 15th. The next bill date is May 10th. The interest on the average daily balance is 1.5% per month. Notice that that's an 18% annual interest rate. It says find the finance charge on the May 10th bill. Okay, so let's start off with highlighting all of the dates. I want you to pay attention to the dates. First date is April 10th, then it's April 12th, I have an April 24th, and then it goes back to April 15th. So many times written in these problems, the dates are out of order, so you've got to be careful with that. And then I'm going to highlight the last date a different color, May 10th. So let's look at the chart. If you look, they put the dates in order. Here's April 10th, April 12th, April 15th because it was out of order, and there's your April 24th. That's how they got the start dates. What I really want you to pay attention to also is that end date. If you look, it said it ended, or the billing date was on May 10th. If the billing date was on May 10th, they needed the total balance from May 9th. So the last day of the billing period was May 9th. You're always going to stop one day before the billing date. So I'm going to write a little note about that right now. Always stop one day before the billing date. Okay, so now that I've written my note, I'm going to look at what they did for the rest of the dates. If the first date's on April 10th, the next date's on April 12th, then one must stop the day before, which is April 11th. Likewise, the next one starts on April 15th, so we had to stop on April 14th. Then we have April 24th, so we had to stop on April 23rd. The question then becomes, remember, how do we count how many numbers are between? So for instance, the 10th and 11th. Notice you don't do 11 minus 10, which would just be one day. You're always going to do the high minus the low plus 1. High minus the low plus 1 to get the number of days in that period. So for instance, in that first one, I would do 11 minus 10 plus 1. That would give me my 2 days in the billing period. 2 days in the billing period. Okay. Look at the next one. 14 minus 12 plus 1 would give me my 3 days. 23rd minus 15 plus 1, that would be 8 is 9. And then the last one's always the most difficult one. What I like to do, just to make it a little easier, is think how many days are in the given month or in the given billing period. April has 30 total days, so when I add these together, I should be getting 30 total days. So what I do is I kind of work backwards. I do 30 minus 9 minus 3 minus 2. 30 minus 9 minus 3 minus 2 should be the 16 days remaining in the final period. Okay, now that we have the dates locked down and how many days it was at that balance, let's see how the rest of this works. So when I come in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the balance for each day. It started at $315. That's what it opened at. It was $315 for 2 days. So remember, I'm adding the balance of every single day together. So I'm going to do 315 plus 315, which is the same thing as 315 times 2. That gives me my total of $630 for those 2 days. Now what I do is I look at what actually happened on April 12th. If you read, it said a purchase of $28 was made on April 12th. So I'm going to take my balance of $315. I'm going to add the $28 to it. That gives me my new balance of $343. It was $343 balance for 3 days. So remember, to add every single day's balance, I would have to do plus 343 plus 343 plus 343, which is 343 times 3, which gives me my $1,029 for those 3 days. Okay, what happened on the 15th? A payment of $50 was made. When it's a payment that subtracts or decreases the balance, So if I do 343 minus 50, that gives me my new balance of $293. It's set at that balance for 9 days. So I do 293 times 9, which gives me my new, or that total amount for those 9 days being $2,637. I now look at what happened on April 24th. I made a charge of $123. So I take my previous balance of $293. I add to it the $123. I get the $416, which is my new balance. It sat at that $416 balance for 16 days. So the sum total for those 16 days was $6,656. Add all of those numbers together, and this is going to be the total of the daily balances. I get $10,952. That's the total of daily balances. But remember, a credit card doesn't use the total of daily balances, and this is most certainly not the balance of my credit card. The current balance of my credit card is right here. It's the $416. That's how much money I actually owe. This $10,000 has nothing to do with what I owe. The $10,000 is the total balance of all 30 days. What I need to use to find the finance charge is the average daily balance. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take that $10,952, which is the total of all 30 days, and I'm going to divide it by 30 to give me the average daily balance. When I do that, I get that number, $365.07. So, again, I don't owe $365.07. I still owe my balance of $416 plus whatever my interest charge is. This $365.07 is my average daily balance. This is what you use to calculate interest. It is not what you owe, it's what you use to calculate interest. So how are we going to calculate interest? Because it's for one month, one small period of time, and because we have a monthly interest rate, not an annual interest rate, we have a monthly interest rate, I'm going to use the simple interest formula, I equals PRT. P here is always going to be your average daily balance. R here is going to be your monthly interest rate as a decimal. And T here is always going to be the time period, which for credit cards is 1 month, so T is always going to be 1 here. So take your average daily balance times your monthly interest rate times 1 for 1 month, and that's going to give you your interest charge. So the interest charge or finance charge for this credit card would be $5.48 for this month. Again, thinking big picture, what would the credit card statement actually say? The credit card statement would say you owe the current balance, and remember the current balance is $416. It is not the $365, it's the $416, plus that finance charge of $5.48. So what is that? $421.48. That is the bill that you would receive in the mail or online from the credit card. That is what they would say you owe.